Welcome in, boys. Wednesday night. How you doing?
Doing
When
great.
pigs
How are
can
you guys?
What
fly.
up? What up?
Fantasy football show.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on in to WPF, the When Pigs Can Fly Fantasy Football Show. We are your hosts for the evening, Sal Adams, Mr. Corey Lamberts, and the Wesley Bryant. How you fellas doing tonight?
Pretty good, actually.
Doing great. Doing great. Just got back from the fair.
Y'all don't have
Man.
any rain down there right now?
Nope, nothing yet. Everything's it's going straight west to east across Florida.
Okay.
Just
I
absolutely
don't have work
annihilated.
tomorrow.
It was actually projected to not hit landfall until 2 a.m. and it hit about an hour ago.
Yeah, I was watching a little
So
bit of footage when we were prepping here for the show, just taking a peek at things.
Yeah, I got an uncle in Northport. Definitely throwing prayers up for all Florida, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely keep Florida in your prayers, man.
Yep.
All right, well, so we're here. We might as well get after it. We've got a ton to go over this evening. This is going to be a really fun show for all of us here. Pretty much all of our favorite stuff in one compilation of a show. We are only doing one show this week. We've got some prior engagements.
I'm going
I guess,
backpacking.
established. Yeah, you're going backpacking. I've got a wedding this weekend. We're going to be busy. Corey's
And I'm
he's
nothing.
available.
I'm not
But
in the middle of
anyways,
moving, man. That's all.
on our docket for the evening, we have studs and duds. We have bi-week notifications. We have trending hot and trending not. That's begun to be one of our favorite parts of the show. Of course, that's who's catching fire and who's sending you to the waiver wire. We have positional power rankings. And we have picks and locks. It's all going to be compiled into one big show. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of fun. Fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen, because the WPF show is about to take flight. I knew it was coming.
Let's
It was
go.
coming.
Always.
Get it
So,
started.
yeah. First on our docket for the evening is studs and duds. Let's get right into it, shall we?
Go ahead, Sal, because we kind of went over this a little bit before, and we were all on the same page with a couple of them, so we had to switch them up. So you go ahead and get us started.
Yeah, I'll happily get them started here. Let's go with running back first because we've got some positives for me and some negatives for me. So this guy has been on my roster. I have been excited about him since he came out of college. He's finally starting to break loose a little bit. Unfortunately, at the expense of another guy that I expect to be really good this year. It's Tank Bigsby. Tank Bigsby is my stud for the week at running back. 25.9 fantasy points in a PPR format. He had 13 carries. 101 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 reception for 28 yards. He was RB1 on the week this week, boys.
That's crazy.
RB1 on the week in our league, so that's crazy. And my dud, I am bummed out to say this. I gave some poor advice to you listeners this past week and said that I would lock him. I did that on the thought that he was going to be the starter for this game, and he was going to get a lot of touches because his coach said that was going to be the case.
Oh, yeah.
Antonio Gibson, 6 carries for 52 yards, 1 reception for 4 yards, 6.6 fantasy points, and he finished at RB 40 on the week. Embarrassing. Do not take what Gerard Mayo says close to home because he's
So
full of
who's starting at quarterback?
it. I don't.
Yeah.
He says Drake May. I don't
Yeah,
know.
who knows?
Don't count your chickens before
Go
they
ahead,
hatch.
Corey.
Well, my stud actually ended up being Trey Sermon
Oh, which
for
was
the
a lot.
Colts. Yeah, he did quite well. Even though I don't remember if you started him or not. It wasn't necessary, I don't think, but it's
I
still. Um,
started him in
no,
my
go ahead.
redraft league over ETN actually.
Yeah.
It worked
Yeah.
out. It worked out.
Yeah, and I my dud actually also was Antonio Gibson.
Okay.
But I had to I think that's what I changed. I changed it to ETN.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't think he did very well this week. I don't have it in front of me. My phone's being stupid. Mind you, I did do most of this stuff while I was at the fair waiting in line. So
Hey,
if there's a little hiccup on my
no,
end,
you're
that's
good.
the reason why. So,
Hey, we all have our
but
own.
yeah, that was, yeah.
We all
So
have our own personalities, characteristics, a way of doing things. It's all good. So
Sure.
my running back was also I locked last week, which I'm really pumped about. I picked him up as soon as I saw he got signed. Kareem Hunt, 27
Yeah.
carries, 102 yards, touchdown, and a 15-yard reception. That's 18.7 fantasy points in early, boys. Pretty good for
Yep.
someone who just got scooped up off the couch.
Yep. And it's the same place.
Place he
Excuse me,
started.
same scheme, same
Yeah.
scheme and everything, and they like him there. So
sorry to interrupt.
What
oh,
does Shannon got for us?
oh,
Oh boy.
Oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming.
All right, gentlemen. My poop pile of the week goes to a running back that was drafted very high in most fantasy leagues. He had a total of 23 yards on 9 carries and 14 yards on 3 receptions and no touchdowns. That means my poop pile of the week goes to
Brees Hall, somebody I hold near and dear to my heart.
Brees Hall. Yep, that was my dud. Shannon's poop
Yikes.
pile was my dud. 9
Yeah?
rushes, 23 yards, 3 receptions
Nice.
for 14 yards, 74% snap percentage for a total of 6.7 points.
Ouch, man. Yeesh.
Ugh.
somebody's being outplayed.
You know that's right.
Wow.
Mm.
Hey, I would since we're at the running backs, I gotta mention Rico Dowdle. 19.4 fantasy points on the week. RB3 for the week. 20
Yep.
carries, 87 yards, 2 receptions for 27 and a tutty. I had to mention that.
Who'd you
That
think
stuck
was
out.
going to do it? Zeke?
Nobody.
Don't feed Zeke anymore.
He's eaten enough clearly. If you see the way he's built now. Let's move on. Who wants to start off quarterbacks?
Go ahead.
I mean, if you got one, you can go ahead.
No.
I insist.
No.
All right. Well, I'll start. I actually I had a couple,
Mhm.
but I settled on Joe Burrow finally, just absolutely shredding the defense up there, and then he ended up feeding Jamar Chase quite a bit and T Higgins.
Mhm.
So they had a banger day. But yeah, it's unfortunate now. Their loss column is piling up. It's not
Are they
looking
1
good
and
though.
4 now?
1-4,
Yeah,
not
it's been
good.
tough. It's been tough.
Who's your dud?
My dud at quarterback was actually I think it was my stud last week was Sam Darnold. Did not have a good week. Didn't look great. But it's one game, and they're still ultimately it really doesn't. I mean, for fantasy it matters, but if you're a Vikings fan, I think you're still thrilled with how they're playing. So he had
Yeah, I think we
he had
all had
had a
Sam
bad week.
Darnold.
Yeah.
But to piggyback
Oh yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah,
It's
that's what
okay.
it was initially. And I'll it was but I'll let you take the other one. It's fine.
To piggyback off of your stud, the guy who went up against, Lamar Jackson, my guy.
Mhm.
26 for 42, 348 yards, 4 tuds, 55 yards rushing,
Mhm.
41.4. I mean, Joe Burrow had the higher points, I think, when it comes to fantasy points by like maybe 2 points, but
Yeah.
those boys killed it. If you had both of them on a 2 QB league, probably won. My dud, I did have Sam Darnold originally, and then I was going to pick my boy who I said was definitely going to bounce back because he doesn't have 2 stinkers in the game, Josh Allen. But I ended up landing on Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton was so bad that he went 18 for 28, 136 yards with an interception, finished with 3.7 points, and he played 85% of the game. Last 15% of the game, Bryce Young comes in, 3.1 fantasy points, only 0.6 less than him and only playing 15% of the game, going 4 for 7 for 58 yards. So, Andy Dalton, the red rifle? I don't know about
Red
that.
rifle.
I don't know about that.
Water gun. The red water gun.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
The
I'll jump
original
right in.
Super Soldier.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sal.
I'll jump right in. My quarterback of the week, my stud was Kirk Cousins. Kirk O'Chains. How could it not be, right? 42 of 58, 509. 509 passing yards. 4 touchdowns. Your boy Corey, he started him this week. He did
Swag.
have
Yes, sir.
an
Yes,
interception
swag.
at the end of the game. Garbage time trying to force things to. I believe they lost this game, right? He forced an interception trying to win, if I remember correctly. If I remember
No,
watching.
it forced
did-
overtime.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, forced
And then they
overtime.
wound up winning with a Youngway Koo field goal. No, am I
Yep.
wrong?
Yep, that's
Nope,
correct.
no, that's wrong.
No, it was a touchdown. It was a touchdown.
Cardell
The field goal.
Hodge came in
Yeah,
for
that's what it was.
injured Drake London,
I'm thinking Kaimi Fairbarn. He hit a field goal this weekend. Sorry.
and the week
Anyways,
before Falcons did win it in overtime or win it with a kick, I believe.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Koo
QB2
kicked the
on
long
week.
one to tie it. Yeah.
42.4 fantasy points on the week is good enough for QB2. Of course, I also had Sam Darnold as my my stinker for the week, my dud. Got a backup online though. It actually sounds like this was also Corey's backup. Deshaun Watson, he was 15 of 28, 125 yards on the week. He did have a touchdown. Didn't turn the ball over as far as interceptions go. 3 carries for 14 yards. Only had 10.4 fantasy points. He's playing against Washington. They've been a pretty easy matchup for quarterbacks this year. Didn't perform well against them.
Listen,
He's my
man.
dud.
All I'm saying is, if I were the Browns, I'd be trading for Joe Flacco.
Wait, you mean the Flacco that they let go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, jumping right into wide receivers, I'll start. Darnell Mooney. He had a big drop that didn't end up mattering. Didn't matter in the long run. But he had 16 targets, caught 9 of them, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns, good for 31.5 points in a PPR. And my dud, none other than Marvin Harrison Jr.
Bad week.
7 targets, only 2 receptions for 36 yards. He's yeah.
Hot and cold right now.
Yep.
It's all right.
He's a rookie.
It's all right. It's a rookie. It's fine.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Can't all
gonna
be.
go ahead and let Corey jump in.
My stud was another Falcon. I actually wrote down the Falcons
Yeah.
for my studs. Kirko coming off that 500-yard passing game. Drake London was 12 of 13 for 154 and a touchdown. Everything we've been waiting for Drake London to show, he finally did it.
That was good for wide receiver too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the week, yes, impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But he had it was a hell of a week. 33.8, I think. 33.4 fantasy points on the week.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dud was Debo.
Oh yeah.
An unfortunate partial lock on my part.
Yep, very, very disappointed. Especially if you either owned him or just traded for him. It's not been great since he came back off that slight injury. So I won't go into his stats because it wasn't relevant, but he did not have
worth
a great
talking
week.
about.
5 points, I think, was his total this week. So
I'll go up next. Wide receiver. I had 2 studs and 2 duds. I don't know what led me to feel like I needed to have 2 of each, but I did. My first stud was Drake London, so good thing I had a second one. Juju Smith-Schuster. Unbelievably, it was Juju Smith-Schuster. He had 20 fantasy points on the week. Wide receiver 13 on the week. Rashee Rice is injured. Somebody had to step up. Travis Kelce also had a pretty good game, but 8 targets, 7 receptions, 130 yards for Juju Smith-Schuster. Good enough for wide receiver 13, like I said, in PPR. He's my stud. Moving on to duds, I picked 2. Both of these guys, they need to be talked about. Deontay Johnson is the first one. He had 6 targets, 3 receptions, 23 yards. He had 2 carries for not really much worth talking about. I think it was 6 yards. Wide receiver 58 on the week. This coming off of 2 weeks. 2 weeks where I believe he scored like 20 and 15. It was 2 big weeks. So I had to bring him up. My other one, George Pickens. This is the guy that I picked to be a lock this week. 7 targets, 3 receptions, 26 yards. Good enough for wide receiver 60, 5.6 points on the week. No bueno, boys. No bueno. Quarterback situation there that all of a sudden got murky now that they lost a game again, but keep your eyes peeled on that. There's not conclusive evidence of who's going to be the starter moving forward. I'll move right along into tight ends. Corey, have you gone first?
I think I did.
Perfect. Kyle Pitts is my stud.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts is my stud. 22.8 fantasy points in our league, and in your normal PPR format, that would be 15.8 points. He had 8 targets, 7 receptions, 88 yards, good enough for tight end 5 on the week. I was very happy to see him have a good week. It's unfortunate that it's just because Kirk Cousins threw the ball 60 times for 500 yards. I think that's the only reason why this happened. Hopefully it continues. They are playing Carolina this week, so you never know.
Right.
Looking over at duds, this guy's coming off of an injury. I started him in a couple leagues. I was certain he was going to turn it up. David Njoku, 3 targets, 1 reception, 14 yards, tight end 41 on the week, 2.4 points in your normal PPR formats.
Another unfortunate lock on my part. Washington Commanders are supposed to be poor at covering the tight end, so I thought he would take advantage of him being a big, fast tight end. But like you said, coming off an injury, didn't really take that into accountability and his quarterback play. But jumping right into tight ends myself, I went Tucker Kraft, Green Bay Packers.
Oh yeah, good game.
Unbelievable game.
I scooped him up in a trade earlier. I traded away Sam Darnold, got him and a second-round pick, and I think I had him on my bench this week, but I know I started him in a couple other leagues. But four receptions on 5 targets, 88 yards, 2 touchdowns, 28.8 fantasy points, and the tight end premium scoring. And my dud, with 6 targets, only 2 receptions, and 34 yards, playing a 62% snap count, Dalton Kincaid, the Buffalo Bills. Something's got to happen there.
It's a tough one, man. I think they'll bounce back, but you drafted him to be a top top tight end. He's not doing it this year.
Yep.
But I'll go ahead and move right along. And my stud for tight end should be pretty blatantly obvious by now. I think he's been, a stud almost every week. It's Brock Bowers.
Oh yeah.
In every format, especially tight end premium, and then in our league, it's ridiculous. 8 of 12 for 97 yards and 1 touchdown. Good for tight end 2 on the week. 31.7 points in our league. Guy is just lights out right now, with the exception of last week. And now that the quarterback situation has changed, just announced earlier today, Aiden O'Connell will be starting for the Raiders this week.
Yeah.
Temper expectations, but I don't know, man. He's doing good this far.
Target.
If you have him, you might as well start him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then my dud, Zach Ertz, 2 for 8.
I was gonna say he had quite a few targets, didn't he?
2 for 8, 10 yards, 5 points.
Yeah.
Not good.
Tight end 38.
I saw a lot of people scooping him up off the waiver wire too. So.
Yeah. So
send him on back.
Yep.
Send him back.
Send him on back.
Yep.
Get your money back.
Back where it belongs. Yeah. Get your free agent money back. Well, that's studs and duds for the week. I guess I want to mention, honorable mention studs, the entire Baltimore Ravens tight end group. Even Kohler had like 13 points this week. All 3 of them. Mark Andrews finally had a decent week. Isaiah Likely had a good week. Maybe that's something to pay attention to. Hopefully that's trending upward for my guy Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Worth mentioning.
Since we're talking about the Ravens, for a quick second, has anybody seen the still frame of Derrick Henry from last week's game? Of his face? Like, if you see that face, just get out of the way.
Oh yeah.
Just get out of the way. It's hilarious.
It's almost as good as the stiff arm that Lamar Jackson had on the broken play that he wound up throwing a dot in the end zone to, I believe, Isaiah Likely, actually. That was incredible.
His feet were out of bounds
that
time.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm.
His toe, right?
Yep.
I
Moving
believe
right,
we got
right.
bye week notifications. Like who's on
Yep, that's
buys?
what.
Some big
Yep.
ones.
Moving into bye week, so big ones, like you say. I believe it's a good Monday night when I don't have to listen to Chris Collinsworth talk about this specific team. Kansas City
Thank
Chiefs.
God.
They're on a bye week this week. uh, Notable though, if you've got Mahomes, if you've got Travis Kelce, if you've got Xavier Worthy, guys that you're going to be starting on that roster, you're definitely not going to want to start them this week.
Mm-hmm.
LA Rams, Miami Dolphins, and another really big key team, the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan that they're getting their bye week right before they have to play us in Detroit. But
I don't love that either.
hey,
We're gonna see how that goes.
hopefully they're sleepy.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully. So that is your 4 teams for bye weeks this week. Minnesota, Miami, the Rams, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Which gets us right along to our next trending one. Trending hot. Trending not.
Who's ice cold and who's catching fire?
That's right. Who's catching fire? Who's sending you to the waiver wire, baby?
That's right.
The thumbnail on this one. Sorry to my boy A-Rod, but
That's too good.
It's
too
just
good
worked
not
out
to use
perfect.
it.
That was
That was a
awesome,
great
too.
suggestion from Wesley.
Gosh,
It's
I loved
perfect. So, moving right into trending hot. Told you guys I was gonna blow your mind with one. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna let one of you guys go first.
I'll go first because I already said his name. And then Tucker
Yeah.
Kraft, the tight
Yeah,
end for the Green
okay.
Bay Packers. I mean, if he is not picked up, which all the leagues I have, he's finally picked up after last week because big 20 points. Usually people scramble for it, but that's 2 weeks in a row with 20-plus points for him.
Okay.
Go pick
Wow.
up Tucker Kraft.
I've got 3. How many do you guys have?
I have 3.
Okay. Corey?
I have one at each position.
Okay.
So two positions, yeah. I'm sorry. One at each position.
So
I was
4?
looking
you
at my
got
list
4?
and I misread it. Yeah, 4. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead then.
All right.
Say
Yeah,
2.
give us one. Yeah, give us 2.
Well, I mean, I'll give you 2 at the same time. It's Kirko Chains and Darnell Mooney.
Oh yeah, naturally.
Seems to be his favorite target. So
Yeah, that kills me as a Pitts
driving
in
us,
London
I
owner.
love it.
driving us all crazy.
Not me. Who'd have
Driving you
thought?
crazy in a good way.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Not us.
I will throw one out there. This is my least surprising one. I didn't do as much digging on this one. This guy has had back-to-back softball games against the Rams and Carolina Panthers. Fun fact about him, his next 5 games are against bottom half defenses against his position in the NFL. He is currently running back 17 on the season. Back-to-back top 3 weeks, like I said, 37 carries in those 2 weeks for 166 yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 receptions, 119 yards. It's DeAndre Swift.
Oh.
He is trending hot. He is trending hot.
Yeah.
Back-to-back top 3 running back weeks after having a couple of abysmal weeks to start with. He's playing the Carolina Panthers this week, folks. I'm just saying. Hopefully he keeps it alive.
Yep.
Hopefully he keeps it alive.
So I didn't look into all the stats, but I thought you were getting ready to say the guy I think is trending hot, and it's who we thought was RB2 behind Zach Moss, but Chase Brown. Who'd have thought, eh?
That's a great one, yeah.
Yeah, so you
He's
might
really good.
want to scoop him up. I don't know if you want to start him yet, but definitely a thought to start.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's worth looking at.
I had the same running back as you for trending hot. I even wrote it. If I could screenshot it here and send it to you, it just says Swifty and
Yeah.
then a little flame emoji right next to it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it.
Nice.
Yeah, he is.
Guy
That's
is
for
on
sure.
fire.
It's so good. Then you only have 3.
Yeah, my 4th one's irrelevant. It's Kelsey.
Don't do it
That's
yet. Don't do it yet.
No, it's too late. It's Travis
Kelsey.
Kelsey. I mean,
Okay.
it's how do you not?
Well, he had
So,
to say
got-
that after his picking Swifty, so go ahead.
Yeah, I guess. So I've got 2 left. I'll throw one at you right now. This one's going to come as a little bit of a surprise. 13.62 points over his last 4 weeks. He had 1 bad week in there. The remaining 3 games, I believe he was over 13.5 points. He's wide receiver 31 on the season right now. Only 40% owned in redraft leagues. in he's in the last 4 games. He's had 27 targets, 19 catches, 235 yards, and 2 touchdowns, averaging 12.37 yards per catch. 12.37 yards per catch. Jalen Tolbert, wide receiver 2 right now for Dallas.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's available out there. If you are in a redraft league and you need somebody, you might be able to throw him in your flex spot.
To piggyback off that wide receiver, he's been pretty steady all year, and then last week with wide receiver 1 out, Wan'Dale Robinson, he's been a steady target for Danny Dimes. And I think he still will continue to be. He's kind of that slot guy, you're almost your Monroe St. Brown type, and
And if he continues drawing the second cornerback coverage,
right,
Yeah.
it's easy pickings.
Yeah, he's been good. We selected him to be a lock 2 weeks ago, and he
Mhm.
was. And then last week we mentioned that he might be, and he
Mhm.
was.
Yep.
Moving forward, could be. That leads me into my last one. This guy is owned in 22% of redraft leagues. He's available, ladies and gentlemen. He's available, all right? This quarterback is ranked 14th right now. That's above Patrick Mahomes on the season. That's above Trevor Lawrence on the season.
Come on, you're
That's
making
above
Corey
Jalen.
blush.
That's above
Dude.
Spit
Jalen
it
Hurts
out.
on the season.
Oh my gosh! Stop.
92 of 136 for 68% completion percentage.
This is Jared Goff.
952 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, 28 carries for 93 yards. He
not
has
Jared
been
Goff.
quarterback 11 or higher 3 of the last 4 weeks. And everybody hates on this guy. It is Danny Dimes.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking the same
Unbelievable.
thing.
Unbelievable.
I'm hanging up
Pick him
right
up.
now. I
No.
can't believe
Pick him
this.
up.
I'm hanging
No,
up.
no, I'm dead serious. I completely agree, honestly.
Yeah, you're right.
Did
Numbers don't lie, man.
When we talk
Something
about that,
about watching them.
when we talk about that picks and locks, he's not my lock, but I definitely gave him a mention.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was looking at the stats and I was like, the deeper I read, the more I was like, dude, no way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been consistent.
Mhm.
So Danny Dimes, he is my number 1 for trending hot this week. Told you guys I was gonna blow your mind with that. Those stats,
Yeah.
you weren't ready for that.
No.
Once you said the rushing stats, I was like, it's not Jared Goff.
No.
When you said it, I was like, bro, that sounds a lot like Jaden Daniels at first. And I was like, come on, dude, really? There's no way he's only that little owned.
No, Daniel Jones, man. Check the
Wow.
receipts on that. That's I'm just saying. I'm not saying you need to go out and start him over anybody. I wouldn't start him over Pat Mahomes. I'm just saying he's performing better right now. So
I don't know that you wouldn't.
Well, he
Statistically in fantasy football, why wouldn't you?
Well, speaking of
trending
that,
not.
he might jump right into this next thing we're talking about, positional power rankings, if he keeps it up.
Well, we got trending not yet. Don't forget it.
Oh, trending not. Take this away.
I can start on trending not. Number 1 trending not. This is the guy that got mentioned earlier. He's on my alert list. I do expect him to fix it this week. They're playing against Buffalo. He's RB13 on the season. Last 2 games, he's been 19 carries for 27 yards, 5 catches on 9 targets for 28 yards. He's had a terrible last 2 weeks. This is Breece Hall. He's on my alert list because Braylon Allen has been outperforming him. They seem to like him, but that whole offense is not looking real great. So, Breece Hall, trending not.
I'm going to go right down the same rabbit hole there with the running backs, and I'm going to say Jerome Ford. With Nick Chubb coming off to getting ready to start practicing, Jerome Ford has just not been it. I keep wanting to think, oh, maybe this week. It's not happening. So
Nope.
I just dropped him in 2 leagues, actually. So trending not in me.
I might add to that. I'd like to add to that if you don't mind me interjecting here.
Go ahead.
Looking at the Browns as a whole, their whole offense, everybody's been underperforming. With the understanding that Nick Chubb is coming back, if he is anywhere near what he was before injury, I think the whole offense is going to get better. So if you are currently an owner of one of those guys, hang on a couple more weeks. ride it out, ride that storm out. If you don't own those guys, it might be worth making a trade to try to acquire one of them on the cheap.
Might be a lot of buy now candidates right now on the
Yep.
Browns.
Yep.
Everybody's low.
Yep.
My trending knot actually goes almost directly hand in hand with your trending knot of Brees Hall over the last 2 weeks. 19 carries, 89 yards,
Mm.
64% snap count, and then 67% snap count for 23 points over the last 2 weeks. Bijan Robinson.
Yep, I thought
Just like you, look to bounce back this week against a weak Carolina team.
Yep.
And I won't go any further into it than that. I know,
Yep.
I know I got off on tangents on certain teams and their organizations, but Bijan's going to bounce back this week. So that's what we're
Don't
looking.
get him started.
I'm gonna
Do not get me started, but that's my trending knot right now. He
I'm
is
gonna do
at
a
a
quick
watch
trending
list
knot.
now, but
Yeah, I'm gonna do a quick trending knot because it's quite obvious. We think, but it is quite obvious. Jacoby Brissett. You know, two of the same. Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew. They're both getting bounced probably this week, so do not start them, please.
Yeah.
And you probably not. I mean, depending on how deep your league is, you might want to hold on to them. But if you're in a redraft league, I would just swap them out for somebody else on the free agency.
I was gonna say for sure redraft those guys there.
Go get Joe Flacco if you haven't already.
Mm-hmm. It's a safer play.
I only have one more, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump on in. When I give you these numbers, it's gonna surprise you because this name you would have expected to be better. Wide receiver 35 on the season. He only has 20 catches for 147 yards on the year. 4 of the 5 weeks that we've had this year, he was outside of the top 40. 4 out of 5 weeks. 44 is the highest he's finished in those 4 weeks. It's Amari Cooper. He is trending not. Super suggest if you can buy him low, like really low. If you've got an owner that's just like, man, this guy is just clogging up my roster right now. I just want to get rid of him. Give me something. It might be worth. It might be worth trying to get him. Just know that comes with some tax on it, because man, he's been bad. It's
to
not
be fair,
his fault.
The 1 week I did lock him, that was his good week.
He did perform. Yep, he did perform in that week. Yeah, I remember that.
I lied. I couldn't read my own handwriting. Actually, looking at this, what I had wrote down, it's 20 catches on the season on 47 targets. The targets have been there, but less than half of his targets have been caught. That's not necessarily his fault.
I was going to say, how close is it got to be a target? That's the reason why it's not intentional grounding. It's in the area.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, just keep that in mind. But he's my trending knot.
Go ahead,
Wes.
Wes.
For me, I'm done.
Oh, you're done? All right, I got one. Just like your guy. It's a different player of very similar stats. Currently wide receiver 50 in PPR formats. 17 catches, 41 targets, 5.4 yards per target. Goodness gracious. 17 receptions, 224 yards, 1 touchdown. The big body man himself in the Mile High State, Cortland Sutton.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's been bad, man.
Bad. Can't start him. You're looking for a good year. Last week he had 15 points, 3 of 9, but he was saved by the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
This past week, 2 of 5, 32 yards. That's it.
He needs to get some rapport with that Bo Nix, man. They got
some
work to do.
He does. He's on the field a ton. 91, 89, 74, 79, 81. So he's out there a lot.
I'm probably going to keep him stashed on the bench for sure.
For sure, yeah. Definitely trending not. He's not but you could buy him low.
Buy low guy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Buy him cheap. If you've got the roster space and you don't need production now, buy him low.
Yep.
Stash him.
Yep.
Worst case scenario, you throw something that is not worth a lot for him and move on. So that's trending hot and trending not. Some of those guys are catching fire, and some of them are sending you to the waiver wire. So that's what we've got for you on that. Moving right along, next we've got positional power rankings. Wes was excited about this. I know I'm excited about this. I want to note, coming into this, we switched up how it's going to go now that we've got, bye weeks have started. we've got a million injuries in the NFL. Seems like guys are falling all over the place. Shannon actually mentioned that earlier. It seems like we've had a ton of injuries this year, which I agree. It seems like more than normal. But now we're basing it on points per game. So it's points per game, but it's also for guys that have played in at least 60% of games. And they're currently healthy. Using this as an example, Nico Collins, yes, he would be in the top 5. He is one of those guys that has played in all of his games, so he's played over 60% of his games, but he's on injured reserve now. He's not I put him in the power rankings, right? So 60% of their games in the top 5 in points per game, and they're not currently on injured reserve or something like that. So we can start off whatever position you want. Wesley, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go right with quarterbacks. Okay. Starting at 5, rookie Jaden Daniels, 24.3 points per game. And then number 4,
stop.
number 4, somebody that you would expect to be up there, but their record does not show it. Joe Burrow, 24.9 points per game. They got to figure something out there with their defense. They got to stop somebody. They're scoring all these points, but they're also letting them get scored on. Your guy, number 3, Jordan Love, 25.5 points per game. He's played in 60% of the games.
Played in 3 out of 5, baby.
Oh wow, just barely.
I'll be honest with you. He's the one that I made that rule.
Okay,
on.
Nice. Okay.
Of course it was.
That's fair.
Just to benefit you.
Number 2, I believe he might have been number 1 in the beginning of the year, but Baker Mayfield, 26.3 points per game. And my guy, number 1, the running back, Lamar Jackson, 28.5 points per game, 4 touchdowns last week, man. That was a great game.
That helps the average go up a little bit, baby. Doesn't it?
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to steal the thunder on running backs. I know that Corey's going to be excited to read wide receivers to you, so I'll start with running backs. Coming at number 5, 19.4 points per game is Kyron Williams. Made a name for himself last year. Wasn't sure if he would be able to replicate that this year. Seems to be doing all right to me.
Watch out for Blake Corum.
Yeah, he's coming, baby. Coming in at number 4, the King, 22 points per game, Derrick Henry. Every week he just continues to show you.
30 years old.
Yeah.
Age ain't a thing to him. That's right where I was going with that, man. Age ain't a thing to him. It doesn't matter how old he is. He's going to keep turning back that clock and running over people. Number 3, 22.4 fantasy points per game in a PPR format. This guy's looking good. I told Corey he was crazy when he told me that he wouldn't trade this guy straight up for Breece Hall. It's Kenneth Walker. Number 3 on the season so far through 5 games. Number 2, Alvin Kamara, 23.8 fantasy points per game. And rounding out your top 5 running backs at number 1, it's Saquon Barkley at 24.5 points per game.
Way to go, Giants.
There was a point in time where I got an offer to send Brian Thomas Jr. straight up for Saquon. And when I told Sal about it, about 5 minutes later, I went back to look at it, and it was already pulled. And I promise you that individual was thrilled I didn't hit accept immediately.
Oh, yeah.
He would be devastated right now.
just out of curiosity, what did Sal say when you mentioned that to him?
You're an idiot. Why didn't you instant smash? Or something along.
Okay.
Something
I thought that might be what he said.
Something to that effect.
But dude, Brian Thomas has looked really good, so.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I will take my favorite position in the NFL as a wide receiver. Number 5 is Chris Godwin with 17.8 points per game. Slightly unexpected, but not surprising if you've watched them play at all. He's always open. Guy's nuts. He's always all over the field. Mostly down the slot, but first down machine too. Number 4 is Jaden Reed, 18.3 points per game. Looked a little shaky for 2 games, but Jordan Love's back and all is well in Green Bay. As sick as it makes me to say that. Number 3, not surprising, maybe a little low for what you would expect, but Justin Jefferson at 19 points per game. Straight across the board, 19.0 points per game. Playing well, playing really well. And then number 2, Jamar Chase. I'm pretty sure this past week helped quite a bit. At 21.7 points per game.
You don't say.
Quite a bit. And then number 1, My boy himself, Danny Dimes' favorite target, 22.9 points per game, Malik Neighbors.
You guys, it's kind of obvious, but look at the 1, 2, and 3. LSU must be wide receiver U, eh?
Jeez. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Careful.
I will say
Careful.
that Alabama, right? I mean, they've got to be up there. But Nico Collins, by the way, was number 3. He's been number 3 through the. I think he's leading the NFL by like 74 yards or something like that, and how many yards he has. So he might still be the leader in yardage next week.
Yeah.
Even not playing. So just wanted to mention that.
Well, he won't be playing the next 4 weeks.
That's right.
At least. Yep. At least.
We got tight ends next.
Yeah, I'll
You wanna
finish
go?
it up here.
Perfect.
Tight ends. Number 5. Kind of surprising to me, honestly, because I didn't think he's been doing that great. Trey McBride, 15.9 points per game.
It's not that he's been doing that great. It's that the whole position in the NFL.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
16
the key on
14.9.
that.
Yeah. Especially the tight end premium. Is that tight end premium stats too?
That's tight end premium
Yeah.
stats, dude.
Yikes.
That's 2 points per reception.
Yeah.
That's
So,
not great.
Next up, number 4, Jake Ferguson, 16.7 points per game. And then the rookie phenom, Brock Bowers, at 18.9 points per game. Dallas Goedert's figuring it out. He had one huge game. He's at 19.5 points per game. And the Iowa stud, George Kittle, 21.6 points per game.
Yeah.
I think the thing I like most about him probably is his crazy commercials. Other than his football ability. Oh, yeah. You watched that wide receiver, right?
Watching
Or the receiver or whatever.
Yeah, on Netflix. That if you haven't watched that, man, it's worth giving a look. Just you'll fall in love with George Kittle, just like everybody fell in love with a couple of the Detroit Lions when they had us on. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the
Hard
show
Knocks.
right now.
Hard Knocks.
Hard
Hard
Knocks.
Knocks,
Yeah.
Hard Knocks,
It was so easy to fall in love with Jamal Williams and Malcolm Rodriguez and a couple of those guys. So, same situation. So.
Yep.
That's it for positional power rankings. I like how that's happened. Some guys are staying, some guys are fluctuating. Some guys, we're here and are gone. Some guys have jumped onto the scene. So it's been pretty cool to watch that. I like that we've added that as a weekly thing. Big surprise for me was I wanted to talk about that. Jaden Reed, 18.3 points. I promise you, that's only on the games that Jordan Love has played quarterback.
Yeah.
The other 2 games he was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Shall we go into picks and locks, boys?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Usually show number 2, but we got to cram it in here. Let's knock it out.
Yeah. Game 1, 49ers at Seahawks. I guess I will go first on this one. Give me the Hawks. I have DK Metcalf having a big week for the Hawks this week. He is my lock. I just like the way that they've been playing football. I have not been liking the way that the 49ers have been playing football. Give me the Hawks.
I got 49ers, but that's because I'm still looking for Kittle to keep his percentage up there. I'm looking for him to have a big game. The Seahawks record, their wins, they haven't looked that impressive when they do win. But if Kenneth Walker can run the ball well, the game will be close. So I think this is a divisional game.
I believe it is, yeah. I think it's going to be a good divisional game.
Yeah. I got 49ers.
Yep. I also picked the 49ers, so we're already starting off opposite, a little bit off here, Sal. But I've got my notes here. So Jordan Mason is going to get back on track.
Okay.
And, of course, everybody already knows George Kittle. So.
Yep. Go ahead. Jaguars, Bears. That's the next one we got?
Yeah, this is a 9:30 game.
London game.
Yep.
Yeah, in Tottenham, baby.
Good old Tottenham.
Yes,
everyone's slipping all over the place.
Didn't look
I was
great
just saying,
last week.
I can start on this one since I've been there.
Big fancy. Okay.
Sorry. I didn't get to say. I forgot. Sorry, I forgot to say it about it last week when they had the Tottenham game. But it's actually a home game for Chicago. But Swifty gets shifty, man.
So you got
Don't ever call him Swifty again.
That's it.
There's only one Swifty in the NFL.
Yeah, I've got too much respect.
That's
for
Kelsey's girlfriend.
Yeah.
She's T Sweezy, my friend. Sorry,
I've never heard that. Anyway, Jaguars at Bears. Who did you say is going to win this one? You said Bears?
Yeah, Chicago.
Hey, didn't he say like 3 episodes ago that he'd never pick the Bears to win?
Yep, I sure did.
Yeah, you're not allowed to take him. He's taking the Jags.
Okay.
Moving on.
So
All right,
right.
change it.
I got Bears.
I've been overruled.
I got Bears. I got DJ Moore as my lock, and Caleb Williams is starting to look pretty good behind center, guys.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
Everyone was worried first few games, but
Come a long way.
he can play. I did say also Bears win at home, and DeAndre Swift has another big game.
Mm-hmm.
I am unbelievably taking the Bears to win this game. I did not think I'd say that very much this year, just like Corey had said. I do not like the way the Jags look so far.
No.
Swift is going to keep on chugging. He is my lock to have a third straight good week with another cake matchup. Hear me out.
I'm listening.
Tank Bigsby might just take the starting back role
Oh yeah.
in Jacksonville this week. He might just do it. I'm not saying he's going to, but pay close attention to that backfield because he has looked significantly better than ETN, which is wild because I drafted him early in a few drafts, fully expecting him to be what he was last year, and he's just not.
We've talked about that backfield at length this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Yep.
I'm sure a lot of people are. That's got to be the talk of the town for a guy like me who stashed every rookie or young running back. Tyrone Tracy, Kendre Miller, Tank Bigsby, all those guys. I got them all. Jalen Warren. It feels good that one of them is panning out.
Yep.
Cardinals at Packers. That's the next game up. Corey, you want to jump in on that one first?
I mean, I stole the last one from
go
Wes,
ahead.
so I feel like you should.
Go ahead, Corey.
Cardinals at Packers.
Let me guess, you've been there too?
What, to Green Bay? God, no, I would never go there.
Been there, done that.
Gross. First of all, no, I have Green Bay winning this game, and it's not going to be close.
Follows it up with I have them winning.
Green Bay at home, piece of cake. Jordan Love must start in all formats.
Yeah. I also have Green Bay, but my lock is my boy Tucker Kraft. I think that rapport is still going to be strong, especially with Dobbs being out and Christian Watson being out still. I mean, Jaden Reed's going to hit his targets, but he's liking Tucker Kraft. Got Jordan Love outshining Kyler Murray. I think Green Bay's going to get that running game established early.
Nice. I'm taking the Packers. They're going to win this ball game. The Cardinals seem to be letting it fly against them through the year this year. Give me 2 locks this game, Jordan Love and Jaden Reed. We've been talking about him. Jaden Reed has been phenomenal with Jordan Love. They're not just throwing him the ball, they're getting him the ball in the backfield, giving him those style runs like Jamison Williams gets.
Yeah.
I really like what they're doing with those two. That connection seems to be good. Give me them both as a lock.
Yep.
This was definitely one of the easier ones to pick. Might have been the easiest one to pick.
Maybe.
What's the next game? You got the order there.
Colts at Titans. Wes, you want to jump in on this one first?
Yeah, I got this one.
This was tough for me. I'm gonna be honest.
It's hard for everybody.
I got Colts. Coming in Tennessee to a struggling offense. You know, Will Levis isn't. He can't lay off the mayonnaise apparently. I shouldn't have had that popcorn. If Flacco plays, he's my lock.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on. Like right now, it's like I said, it's Wednesday night right now. If Flacco is the starting quarterback, he's my lock. So
that's great. I'm gonna jump right in. Titans. Titans are winning this ball game. I actually have Josh Downs picking up the slack. With the uncertainty surrounding Michael Pittman, it sounds like he could potentially be out for I don't know how long, but it sounds like it could be a little while. It might not be at all, but with him being a little bit banged up even, I'm taking Josh Downs to pick up his slack. If Joe Flacco remains the quarterback over there this week, definitely am taking Josh Downs to do something. Watch out for Adonai Mitchell to start getting more reps if Pittman sits out for an extended period of time. He has been getting some decent reps and targets in anyhow. If Pittman's gone, I think you might find out what Adonai Mitchell is made of. Of
Texas
course,
boy.
Alec Beard, but I think it's going to be Adonai Mitchell on the outside.
Yep, same thing. I do not have the Titans winning this game. Sorry, Derek. But I have the Colts winning. even though it is in Tennessee. And I QB play to monitor if Flacco plays, and no Pittman, obviously potentially. Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah.
I said watch out. I wrote up here watch out for Adonai Mitchell.
That's your
Star,
lock?
star, 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 star. Yeah, Adonai Mitchell.
Oh.
If Joe Flacco's the quarterback.
If Joe Flacco starts. Yep.
Okay.
But it's unlikely that most people, unless you have a really, really deep league, that he's even on your roster.
Yeah.
Well, in
So-
redraft format, in a dynasty like
Oh,
ours,
yeah.
you know, he might be
Yeah.
sitting in your taxi
That-
squad though.
That's wild.
Could be, yeah. Yep.
Next game, Texans at Pats. To me, this was the easiest game to take. I'm taking the Texans winning this ball game. I think it's finally time. It's finally time. My boy Dalton Schultz, who I just traded for this week,
I wrote the same thing.
starts to be a consistent part of the regime now that Nico's hurt. You know, I thought looking at it last week that Tank Dell was going to get more nods when he came back from being, you know, injured. He didn't get anything more than he had been getting. I don't see Tank Dell being the one to get the bulk of the missing targets. I think Nico's getting 12 a game. I think that a lot of those are going to go to Dalton Schultz.
Go
And
ahead, Corey.
obviously Stephon Diggs.
Since you guys are on the same telepathic brainwave here, what do you got?
Yeah, what the
Yeah,
heck's that about?
Houston and Dalton Schultz. That's it.
Okay, I got
Easy.
Houston as well. I
Easy.
got Texans. But I said with Nico Collins being out, look out for Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell to have big games this week. Texans do win big. Dalton Schultz, absolutely, but just with the way the tight ends have been performing in the NFL this year, I can't lock certain tight ends yet. So
No,
Mm.
I think that's fair. I would
Stephon
like
Diggs
to
is my
mention,
lock.
if you can find somebody that's willing to bite on Tank Dell for a little bit pricey because they have a hunch that he's going to be special, sell him.
Okay.
Sell him.
Fair.
That's my thought. Next game, Bucks at Saints. Who's going in on this one first?
I'll go first.
Perfect.
Bucks.
Okay.
Bucks.
Why?
Baker Mayfield is my lock. You know, it's looking like I think I just saw Spencer Rattler is getting the start at QB.
Spencer Rattler is starting. Yep.
I don't have him. I don't expect him to have a great debut, but we've been surprised before. I wouldn't rule it out. He's one of those guys where people are rushing to grab him from the waiver wire just because they don't know what's going on with Carr, how long he'll be out.
Is it an
Especially in
abdomen
deep
injury?
leagues.
I think it was almost a
Oblique?
very similar issue to Kenneth Walker earlier, the oblique issue.
Oblique.
Yeah.
So yeah, Baker Mayfield. My money's on Baker.
Okay.
Mhm.
Corey, you want to jump in next? If you can
Yeah,
steal my telepathic
I
thoughts
sure
here.
can. I've got Tampa winning the game because Rattler's starting. Picking Chris Godwin. And the reason I'm picking Chris Godwin, especially over Mike Evans, because if you look at the history between Mike Evans and Marcus Lattimore, who's probably going to be following him all over the field,
Oh yeah.
never has a good game against Marcus Lattimore, ever.
Okay. That's
That's
good
fair.
deep diving. I like that. That's good deep diving. We
Yep.
like those. I have
Chris
the Bucks winning
Olave.
this ball game.
Chris Olave's gonna get some targets though.
My lock is actually Olave. Coming
Yep.
off of a bummy week, that's okay. Generally, you pick up, he's wide receiver, I don't know, 13 or 14 on the year. Spencer Rattler basically came right
out and said,
I'm
yep.
forcing him the ball.
Yes, I didn't know if you saw the same thing I saw, but yeah.
He's going to be my lock for the week.
Yep.
If the quarterback comes out and says, yeah, this guy needs to get the ball in his hands, I'm going to give him the ball, it's a rookie, where's he going to throw the ball?
Yeah.
The Bucks still have a banged-up secondary.
Yep.
Spencer Rattler could be a sneaky pick to throw into a super flex spot if you are desperate.
Yep.
I'm not saying I would, but it might work out for you.
He's staying on my taxi squad. Don't worry, boys.
There was once a time where Spencer Rattler was supposed to be the QB1 coming
Yep.
out of college.
Oh, I know. I remember that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he was featured on QB,
QB1.
right? QB1. Yeah,
QB1.
okay, yeah,
Yep.
QB1. That's what it was.
Yep.
Next up, Browns at Eagles. Corey, I believe you are up to give us your thoughts first.
Well, to go along with everything we've been saying about the Browns already and how they've been playing bad, the offense is bad, the defense not really that great. Picking Philly,
Surprising.
and Philly is going to everything you would anticipate out of Philly because they're getting AJ Brown and Devontae Smith back this week, and fire them both up.
Okay.
Lock them both.
Eagles win. They're finally getting their wide receiver duo back this week. They're going to both be back together. I'm excited for them. I'm excited for that situation. I expect a slight downtick in Dallas Goedert. However, your boy, who is currently ranked behind Daniel Jones in the quarterback rankings for for the season, Jalen Hurts is going to have a good game. He is my lock for this week. There's no way, having all of his weapons back, that he's not going to be a dog. I have them beating the dogs, and he's my dog.
Okay. I also have the Eagles win this game. I said Eagles coming off a bye week, getting healthier. But I also said Browns do have a stingy defense, so Saquon might not have a great game. And I actually think with Devontae Smith, AJ Brown coming back, they are going to be focused on. And I think Dallas Goedert is still going to have a good game, and Dallas Goedert is my lock.
Lock anybody on the Eagles offense, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Last time we said that.
Except for Saquon. I wouldn't quite lock Saquon, but you never know.
It's only when I say it that you shouldn't listen. Lock everybody on that offense. Yeah, don't do that.
Moving right along. Next up, we have the Manders at the Ravens. Wesley, you haven't kicked us off in a bit.
Okay, so Commanders at Ravens. These two quarterbacks do have similar play styles. This game being at home for Baltimore, I give them the edge. But for the same reason I thought Njoku was going to have a good game last week, I think Mark Andrews is going to have a big game this week. I think he's going to make – he's definitely startable, and I would put him as your starting tight end, Mark Andrews. Ravens win.
I'll jump in. Ravens win. I think my boy Jaden is going to have his first rough game. The Ravens, I'm not sure if you know this became a big thing last year when C.J. Stroud was having a tear on the league. The Ravens are very stingy against rookie quarterbacks. They don't allow rookie quarterbacks to play that great, historically speaking. My lock for this game is King Henry to continue his path of destruction.
Nice.
His reign of terror from the King Henry.
Oh man,
that was too easy.
Gosh.
I couldn't pick him. Super long.
As much as I love watching Washington play, especially with the offense that they have now. I have Baltimore winning again at home, just like everybody here, and you should. If you don't, the only explanation is if you're a Commanders fan, through and through. And I actually have a trifecta of locks. It's Lamar, King Henry, and Terry McLaurin.
Oh, okay. Someone's got to get some action out there.
I will note that if you roster Zay Flowers, I would certainly feel comfortable putting him in my flex this week. It's worth noting that the Commanders don't have a great secondary.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Chargers at Broncos. I can go first on this one. Broncos win this game. And Bo Nix is my lock. I think I feel comfortable with him starting for me in that super flex spot if I'm in a super flex league. I'm not saying go out there and start him over your stud quarterbacks if you're in a one quarterback league. If you've got stud quarterbacks, if you've got two of them, don't do that. But I think you can feel good about him being your number two in a super flex spot. I don't see any reason he doesn't get 20 fantasy points this week. He's proven that he can do it on his feet.
Get some points this week?
I hope so. He's proven that he can do it on his feet, though. That Bo Nix, surprisingly, is pretty nimble on his feet. So he's my lock in this game. I like him.
Go ahead, Corey. What you got?
I had to mute you guys for a second because my daughter just got home and the dogs went berserk. So that's why you didn't see my mouth moving either. I wasn't talking. This was actually a really hard game for me too. That doesn't really happen very often. I actually finished every other game and every other category that we talk about tonight before I finally decided who I was going to pick to win this game. This was hard for me to pick. And I have the Chargers winning this game in a close one.
Okay, wow.
3 points. Wow. I would say 3 points or less. And Dobbins?
I knew it.
I don't.
My boy Dobbins?
I don't even have him. I don't have him anymore.
That's true, I guess.
But I just don't know. I don't know what else to pick here. I don't know, man. They don't throw
Lie.
it that often. Even with his 50% target share, they don't. It's like
It's not
the
Harbaugh's
Bears'
offense
offensive
anymore, man.
last year. But yeah,
Yeah. I
but
also have
yeah.
Chargers. I stumbled on it a little bit, but
Lone soldier
evidently I
again.
went with Chargers. Jim Harbaugh likes his running game. Dobbins is going to get a lot of chances this week because they're going to try to stay away from throwing it around Patrick Surtain because he's on a tear. Chargers and J.K. Dobbins is my lock as well.
Nice. Next game up, Steelers at the Raiders. Corey, you want to jump in, or you?
Yeah, I can. There's still a little bit going on in the background. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. It doesn't pick up too much of what's going on in the background.
You're
But
good.
this one was pretty easy. The Raiders have so much dysfunction going on in that organization, especially with all the stuff going on with Devontae, and then the quarterback change. I think Pittsburgh's going to walk away with this one pretty easily. I would fire up Justin Fields, no question.
Okay.
If he's
Oh.
the starter.
If he's a starter.
Oh, come on. Let's be serious.
Let's ride.
Let's be real. I don't care that he's finally healthy and practicing. I don't care. There's nothing that Justin Fields has done this year that hasn't earned him that starting job.
Well,
Rich was right
Pittsburgh country.
all offseason.
Let's ride.
with that being said, I'm not really sure what quarterback's starting at this point in the week because it is, again, Wednesday night, and Justin Fields has been the guy, but I think he's probably gonna start again until he has a stinker of a game. But with that being said, I got Steelers winning. I got George Pickens getting the ball regardless of who is starting at quarterback. So
George Pickens burned me bad last week, so I would love to tell you I think he's gonna have a good game. I hope he does. Man, I'm not saying much about him. I can't. I
Yep.
can't do it. I have the Steelers winning this game. This is going to be a tough one to call, as there is so much uncertainty with quarterback over there in Pittsburgh, in addition to all the uncertainty with the entire Las Vegas Raiders facility. That being said, my pick, again, will be on the opposing team of the team that I choose to win. I think you should fire up Jacoby Myers. in
Yeah,
your
I like
flex
that
spot
pick.
this week.
I do like that pick a lot.
That's a
He's
good
been
one.
fairly
Yep.
consistent this year. I'm not starting him in as a wide receiver 1 or 2, but you could, if you're looking for a flex, I think he's a good guy that you could.
You just
could
like
run.
saying flex, don't you? You just like flexing, huh?
Yeah,
go.
that's
Put 'em-
exactly. No.
Put him away.
Sorry,
Put 'em
that's
away.
right. You don't have tickets. I apologize.
Gosh. Goodness gracious, you
Free
two.
show for those of you who are watching, by the way.
So we all got the
Next up-
Steelers.
Next up, it's the Lions at the Cowboys. Wesley, I'm going to go first on this one. Lions get revenge for not reporting as eligible last year in this game. Your lock is David Montgomery. He's going to run all over this Dallas Cowboys team. I would be comfortable starting anyone that is a skill position player that is not a Dallas running back in this game.
Fair.
This could be a shootout. I'm telling you, lock your skill position guys in this game that are consistent starters. I'm talking Amon-Ra. I'm talking Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm talking David Montgomery. I'm talking even J-Mo. I'm talking, obviously, CeeDee Lamb. I'm talking Jake Ferguson.
Jalen Tolbert.
Jalen
Brother.
Tolbert, as we just told you.
Did you hack my computer, man?
I would feel comfortable starting any skilled position player that's
Okay, you two. Get your
a running
telepathic
back.
ways. What do you got, Corey? I'll go
Everybody.
last.
It's Detroit wins this game not just for the revenge on reporting as eligible, but also the no catch, no pass interference on Pettigrew from years back. For those of you who
you
are
picked
old enough to
Lions,
remember
right?
that. Oh, of course.
Okay.
And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, both running backs / everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
Yeah, I got Lions as well. This is the game of the week. Obviously, it's Lions coming off a bye. They're feeling healthy. I don't know if you heard about this, but Frank Ragnow is probably going to play. He punched Dan Campbell a couple times, saying, "Hey, you feel my pec? I'm ready."
Full practice participant today.
Lions are walking to
That is
Dallas with
awesome.
controlled rage, and Jahmyr Gibbs is going to break out this week. And also, just maybe, look out for a lineman to catch a pass this week. Maybe
Okay.
for a touchdown.
Bold
Which
prediction of the
one?
week.
Let's see if you can
Will
get
they or will they not report themselves as eligible?
which lineman is it going to be, Wes?
Uh,
Take it a step
Skipper.
further.
It's gonna be Dan Skipper.
It's gonna be Skipper.
Skipper.
It's almost a lock from all three of us, huh? No surprise that we all picked the Lions here. I will say that the Cowboys looked better last week. The Lions' offense looks so good. I don't think that the Cowboys are going to be able to stop them very much on the defensive side of the ball. And the
Revenge
Lions
tour.
defense, yeah, I think the Lions.
Seattle, check. Cowboys.
Yeah, I will say.
Well, I don't, and I think it's worth noting that almost any team that plays the Cowboys, we talked about this earlier too, is that Mike Zimmer defense is not what it used to be. It's too old school. It can't keep up with the new Sewell offenses. So I think it's almost guaranteed every week. You could probably start anybody against Dallas.
I wonder what Dak's going to look like. If you remember, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, Dak came to Detroit and threw for 500 yards or so. I was at that game. It was miserable. When we played last year, I believe he had another big game. He's one to look out for.
CeeDee Lamb had one huge big catch that really made the difference there, but
that's true.
Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Pascal, DJ Reader. Watch out, man. Levi Onwuzurike.
Uh-oh.
Is there a possibility a trade goes down this week and the Lions get even
My guy Levi Onwuzurike.
What'd you say, Corey? Is there a possible trade for what?
Is it possible that the Lions make a trade and a splash and get a pass rusher?
You wish.
No?
You want Max Crosby so bad. So do we all.
I would love that. It's never going to happen,
Not
but
happening.
I keep praying for it.
All right, let's get off this game. Yeah, let's go.
Falcons at the Panthers. Who's going first on
Kirk
this one?
Cousins.
Yes.
Cousins gonna have another great game. I think this might be a barn burner. I think.
Oh really?
I think Red Rifle's gonna get back to Deontay Johnson. I think Falcons secondary is not that great. Besides, they got Bates. Don't
AJ
they?
Terrell.
AJ Terrell hasn't been too good.
Bates
He hasn't been doing too good. He's been getting picked off. He's been getting taken advantage of. But
don't forget,
if I remember correctly, I was watching them and I was actually surprised at some of the names that were on that roster.
They have Matt Jude on too.
Yeah, their defense is actually on paper
crazy good.
There's a lot of talent.
I might be the odd one out here, but I think it's gonna be a barn burner. Not quite a Bengals versus Ravens last week, but go ahead.
I just wanted to bring up a few names. They're in Carolina. Grady Jarrett, Matthew Judon, AJ Terrell, Justin Simmons, Jesse Bates, Mike Hughes. They've got some names.
It's a good roster.
Anyways, I will go ahead and jump on in. I like the Falcons to win this game. I like Pitts a lot this week. I like London a lot this week. This is a great fantasy matchup for the Falcons as a whole. My lock is Bijan to finally come to life.
Okay.
On this so far quiet season, Bijan.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do have Falcons winning. Obviously, I don't think I said that.
I agree with my counterparts here. Falcons win. And you can fire them all up. Fire up every Falcons player you have. Mooney, London, Pitts, Bijan.
Oh boy,
the Panthers are winning.
All of them.
All of our guys.
Oh, there we go.
Who are you playing? Which one of us are you playing this week that you just want our guys to do horrible?
It's me.
Sal. I'm playing Sal.
He's playing me this week. I'm not starting Kyle Pitts or Drake London. Official. Next up, we got the Bengals.
Thank you, I guess.
The Bengals at the Giants. I'll jump in. We'll let Corey grab first on the next one. Actually, no, I just grabbed first on the Lions Cowboys. Wes?
I just did Falcons Panthers. Go, Corey.
Sweet. I've got. I'm so stupid. This one, I wrote it down and I had my lock, but I never put who I picked to win the game. Since he's going to win this game, I think, even though Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes has been crazy efficient and all the stats that Sal said at the beginning of the show, but Neighbors, if he's healthy and does play, you can play him. That's my lock.
Great. Bengals pull out a win that they so desperately need here in the Meadowlands. My lock for this game is Jamar Chase going off again. The Giants defense, I don't love it.
Can
I
you
like
name
Jamar
anybody?
Chase a lot. Yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau.
It's
Okay,
even funnier.
secondary. Sorry.
So yeah,
Brian Burns.
I also have Bengals winning this game. But like you said, Danny Dimes has been quiet in the dollars a little bit, as you said with your stats earlier. This could also be a high-scoring game if both of these defense play as poor as we've seen in the past. Just about all wide receivers will be playable options, and I got Jamar Chase as my lock. T. Higgins could be my lock. What's that other guy? I can't pronounce his name. On the Bengals.
Mike Gesicki.
No, the
Andre
other wide.
Yoshivas.
Yeah, that
Oh
one.
yeah, Yoshivas.
Hey,
Harvard.
Right along to our final game of the week and the last bit of our show for the night. Bills at the Jets. The Bills and Jets have both been struggling the last couple weeks. I have a hard time picking this game either way. I have the Bills, Mr. James Cook, as my lock to run all over this defense. I have a hard time betting against Aaron Rodgers, but they have just looked bad. They just lost Robert Saleh. It'll be interesting to see what play calling looks like and who performs well and who doesn't. But with all that being said, I'm taking the Bills.
At least they have an extra day to get over it. Monday night game.
True.
Yeah.
I'm also taking the Bills. I was wrong about this last week, but Josh Allen's got to rise up. He has got to rise up. There's too much going on in the Jets organization. Bills win this game. Josh Allen has 30-plus fantasy points this week.
Good.
Wes, we're on the same wavelength on this one. I have Buffalo winning this game. Right now I feel so terrible for Jets fans and the players. It wasn't even the GM or anything. It was the owner who called Saleh into the office and fired him and then had him escorted out by security. Couldn't even address the team, couldn't even address media, anything. Escorted out after he got fired. The meeting was over and you're gone. Be rid of you. Get out of here. I feel bad for the organization or fans of the organization. And I have Josh Allen coming back.
Well, we all agreed on 11 of 14 games this week, so there's only 3 that we had some differences on.
And I think I was 2 of those 3.
Yep.
Oh, man.
You picked
Well,
the
it was a good
Titans
week.
and you picked the Broncos.
Yep.
And the Seahawks. You were all 3 of those 3.
All 3 of them.
Look at that. And you guys were the same on every game?
It appears that way, yeah. Heck, you know what? You know what? We'll go back. We'll circle all the way to the beginning and change my Jacksonville-Chicago game to a tie.
No, we're not doing it. You got the Bears. I put the Bears down. I just want to give you a hard time for saying you'd never pick the Bears.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for tonight.
Yeah, boys.
Anything that y'all want to leave? Y'all want to leave the folks that are watching with?
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Finish us up
Detroit
tomorrow,
today.
boys.
Yes, sir.
And depending on when we record next week's show, I might actually be in Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
And no longer a Georgia resident.
You might be on your cell phone recording the show. I
No,
don't have
that's
my
not
laptop set up yet. Here, live from my car.
Here, live from my bathroom.
Hey, man.
I hope not.
Some of the best thinking gets done in there.
That is true. We might spend.
The only time you have peace and quiet.
Yeah.
That's right. It was good to see you guys.
Yes,
it was
sir.
good to be here with the WPF team.
For sure.
Let's keep flying, baby.
Yes, sir. See you
Have
guys.
a good night.
Peace.